So we'll start you in pigeon. Let's get just down in this pigeon pose and just kind of loosen up the hips a little bit. Denise had asked for a total conditioning class, and so a lot of it is just moving the weight around. I think some of the ways that we've always had. Try to get some squats in and some upper body movements, but a lot of it's going to seem kind of familiar to you guys. So always a good idea to push with that knee a little bit. You just kind of drive the side of the knee into the floor a little bit. You get that recruitment through that muscle in the outside of the hip. They tend to be real tight. And then let's just bring you up into the up position. If you can, you go ahead and grab the back of that foot. If you can get the shoe or the sock or anything, you can start to pull that foot in a little bit. You're always trying to keep the torso up. You're trying to get as much stretch as you can through the front of that thigh high. Up nice and high. Keep the left shoulder down away from the ear. And then we'll take a breath here. Just bring that chest up a little bit higher with the air. We'll swing you over to the other side. So just kind of a standard pigeon, getting your knee opened up a little bit, just so you get some pressure around the hip. And then always pushing that knee into the mat. And then we'll come to the up position. So just go ahead and bring yourself up. Get that foot if you can, the sock or the shoe. You can either kick into that hand, help to bring your torso up, or keep the shoulder down and pull it in. I like pulling the foot in because it gets real high on the front of the thigh. And then take a breath here. And we'll go to half bow. So hands and knees here, just grabbing the top of that right foot again. And this hip will open up nice and easy here. Get strong with the right hand. Get the fingers spread out. You want to be using all that fascia in your hands. Spreading the palms, stretching out the fingers, and pressing down into the hand is potently effective for grip and touch. Go ahead and take a nice big breath in here. Go over to the other side. And you'll grab that left foot. And again, take some time to get that left hand nice and strong. If you spread those fingers and really try to push down into the hand, the strength of that comes up really fast. Take a nice deep breath in here. And then we're going to go to Garland. If you can get into Garland, if you have to have some assistance here, it's okay. No problem. Get as wide as you can, and then just try to get down as deep as you can. If you have to have something to hang on to and you lean back, it's easier to get a little deeper. You're trying to get the elbows into the insides of the knee, and trying to bring the chest up just as much as you can. And always trying to turn the feet a little more forward as you start to open up a little bit through the hips. And then try pulling out on the knees. So try pulling the knees outward, away from your elbows as you push. Try to get those hips as wide as you can. It's a good idea to kind of wiggle around. And just be mindful of anything around the knee. You're always going to watch out for the knee. Taking a breath in here. You're going to go ahead and stand right up, nice and strong here. We'll get you up to standing. We're going to go to eagle. So standing here, opening your shoulders up a little bit. If you have to have a towel, it's fine. But trying to get the shoulders down, laying the head back and pushing the forearms away from the chest as if they're one piece. Always pulling those shoulder blades down. And then we'll go to the other side. And again, if you have to have a towel, I used to use a towel here. Just trying to twist those hands together. Drop those shoulders down, lay that head back, and then push the forearms away. And then we're going to come up to the bar here for a second. Just 1 second, guys. Excuse me. Yeah. And we're going to go to half moon, but we're not going to turn in half moon here today. We're just going to side bend. So what you're going to do is get your feet together, get your glutes on, lock those hips out, interlock your fingers. Extend your index fingers. Get these elbows nice and straight and draw the elbows back as you kick the hips forward. You're trying to get those hips forward, but the shoulders should stay back over the heels. And then what you're going to do is you're going to bend straight sideways. So don't turn today. Think about lifting the left side of your rib cage as you pull back on your arms. So keep pulling back on your arms with your elbows as straight as you can, especially this left one. And try bending straight to the side as you reach up with the fingertips to touch the ceiling meeting the wall on the right side of the room and lifting the left side of the rib cage. So no compression on the right side of the back, but a pure lateral bend, no turn. Take a big breath in here. Pull those arms back, bending to the side, and go right back through the center. Get those elbows straightened out, draw the arms back nice and strong, and then bending straight to the side and lifting the left side of the ribs so there's no compression, and then trying to push the right side of the rib cage up as you reach those fingertips to the left side of the room, lifting and reaching, bending to the side. So no rotation here, don't pull it back, just go straight to the side and think about a big sweeping crescent. Take a nice big breath in here. And we're going to come on down and we're going to go to awkward pose. Sorry, I threw my sequence off here a little bit. So we'll go into awkward pose. We want to use the awkward pose because this is the bottom of our kettlebell swing. So this is the hip hinge where we swing the bell from. So those shins nice and vertical, sitting back deep into those hamstrings, pulling back on those knees, keeping that collarbone up. And if you feel your back here, you can always widen your stance a little bit more. Keep cueing the collarbone up, but if you feel congestion or compression in your back, don't be alarmed by that. That'll go away. Just keep drawing back on the knees and keeping the collarbone up. One breath here. And we're going to go to a supported standing bow, but you're going to grab with the opposite hand. So you're going to get a standing bow, you're going to use a support. You're going to grab the top of the right foot with the left hand, and you want to get the torso up nice and tall. So it's really important to let your body, the upper body, come back as you kick through that foot, kicking the foot away from the glute, trying to facilitate a nice big arch in the back and staying nice and tall. So there's not going to be any weight forwardness when we move the weight around. Take a breath here. Get that foot way back, open these hips right up. And then we'll go over to the other side. So grabbing the top of that left foot with your right hand, get the torso up nice and tall. The right lat should be engaged so the shoulders down from the ear. And then kicking into the hand, trying to create distance between the glute and the foot. Keeping the body nice and tall. You want to facilitate a nice big stretch. If there's jamming in the back here, don't be alarmed by that either. It's tightness in the front. Take a breath here. Big exhale. We're going to come on off of that. And let's go to the glute airplane. So we'll just take 5 passes with the glute airplane and we'll start to do some squats. So getting yourself supported. Get that torso down nice and low. Try to get the short foot, create your short foot, and try to get the right leg as straight as possible. You're going to dump that hip way down and then pull it wide open. Way down and pull it wide open. A couple more passes here. Really corkscrew that hip down. Keep the foot nice and strong. Try to keep the leg nice and stiff. Try to get as much drag as possible. We'll go to the other side. So short foot. Easy to do now. Get that torso way down. Trying to square the hips. Get that left leg nice and stiff. Drop that right hip. Hear my hip go there. And then pull that other wide open. Couple more passes here. One more time. So one of the things I wanted to change around what you guys are used to for what Denise had asked for is to just change the pace and the sequencing a little bit. So we're going to do intermittent planking for rest spots. So we get the heart rate up a little bit, and we're going to drop into planks. So when you drop into planks, you do the best with them that you can. Just make sure your back stays quiet. When you're breathing hard in your planking, it's a lot harder. So let's just take some sumo squats here. Those feet nice and wide. Get your toes out where you're comfortable. Keeping that torso back nice and tall. Staying way, way back. Making sure your body isn't moving forward. Pulling back on the knees as you squat nice and deep. Keeping the weight back. So if you feel your back at all, your body weight, your upper body is moving forward in front of your hips. You got to get it back. Don't worry about going so deep. As we make the passes through here, if you can get comfortable, you start to go to one hand, alternating. Again, if you feel your back, go right back to two hands and keep the torso back. Just don't let your back wind up. Four more here. And then we're going to go to press. So we're going to do a two-hand press here. You're going to take a split stance with your setup. So you're going to shift your weight back. So you got about 70% of your weight in that right glute. And you want that glute on. And then as you press, you're trying to drive the weight back behind you. If you struggle with the balance, widen the feet. But just keep the torso way back and keep that glute on. That heel perch nice and high. We'll switch it to the other side. So anything in the back, any feeling in your back here, your weight is moving forward. You got to get the weight back. 70% of the weight in that back foot. Kick from that hip. Last one here. We're going to come right down to a front plank. So front plank on the clock, on your elbows, just starting here. Hanging on. Yeah, if you feel the back, you can go to the knees. Hanging on, hanging on. Stay strong in the shoulders, strong in the belly, quiet in the back. You're almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. We're going to come back up. We're going to go to split squat. So, same stance as we had last time with the press. You're going to hold the weight, two hands here at the chest. Keeping that weight back. Get 70% of your weight in that right foot. Get that heel perched nice and high. Try not to let the heel move. See if you can just get that knee to drop down 1 to 3 inches or so. And keep that glute firing hard Doesn't matter how deep it is, just make sure there's no feedback at the top of the kneecap and you feel that glute working. We'll go to the other side. So taking your time, getting your adjustment, getting your setup right, getting that weight back at that heel perch nice and high, and then just let that back knee drop straight down toward the floor, and then push hard through the ball of that foot to get that glute to fire. Should be a little tilt to your back when it does. Once again. And then we're going to go to a row, So nice wide stance here, very wide stance. Sitting back to a nice deep hip hinge. The collarbone stays up. You're going to only row to 90 degrees. Thinking about pulling that elbow toward your hip pocket so that right shoulder stays down, away from the ear. We'll go over to the other side. So wide stance, nice deep hip hinge. Pulling back on the elbow toward my hip to keep my shoulder down. And just up to 90 degrees. So squeezing that elbow in, nice and tight to the rib cage. And then we're going to come on down. We're going to go to side bridge. So you're going to come on right into a side bridge. And you're going to hold right here with that strong right lat. Keeping those glutes on. And the hips kicked forward. Hanging on. Almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to come back up. We'll do the other side next. We're going to go back up to sumo squat. So getting yourself back up to sumo squat. Nice wide stance, keeping that torso back. Sitting down nice and deep as you draw back on those knees. Keeping that torso weight back. Sit as deep as you can, making sure your back stays nice and quiet. Or once again. And then we're going to come back to a split stance. This time you're going to curl the weight. So you're just going to curl through here. But again, you want to set up with that right foot back. The heel is perched. Get this glute on. 70% of your weight, you're just going to curl down and up. Keep these elbows pinned right in against your rib cage and the shoulders down, away from your ears. Don't let these arms and shoulders move. Keep that right glute firing. 2 more. I'm going to switch it around. Same thing here in the other direction. So you get that weight shifted back, 70% of your weight in this left glute, nice and stable with the torso back, and those elbows pinned right in against those ribs. Once again, and we'll come back down. That side bridge on the left now. So getting yourself right down to your side bridge on the left. Up to your bridge. Plank here. Hold it on. Nice and steady. Always a good idea to do the planks. Breathe a little harder. Glutes on and the hips forward, hanging on here. Almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to come on up here. We're going to come back to a back lunge here. So now you're going to hold your weight, 2 hands up here at your chest. You're going to take 1 step back. The right foot, 70% of that weight, down and up a couple of inches with that knee, and then switch. Down and up a couple inches with that knee. So again, keep the heel perch nice and high. Don't worry about the depth of the squat. Just keep that back hip working. So step and land, down and up. Step and land, down and up. Once more here. Now, you're going to take a split stance again. You're going to get your weight back up overhead. Get the weight back. Don't go very far, Steve Walsh. Just move very short range of motion. Do your elbows only hit 90. Just get the arms back as far as you can. Once again here. And we'll swing it around the other direction. So you shift that left foot back. Get that weight back into that left hip. Arms up nice and tall. Getting the hands way back. And then only letting the elbow bend to about 90 degrees. Try not to go any more. There's no need to go any more. And finish through the elbows. And come on down. We're going to come down to the bird dog here. So we're going to run through the bird dog briefly while we're breathing hard here. So that right knee set, that left hand set. I'm just going to take 10 passes through here. Really reach through the leg. Keep this left arm nice and strong. Reach out and hold. Right foot up, hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other side. So left knee on, right hand nice and stable. Tap and reach. And really extend through the right hip. Keep the right arm nice and strong. Out and hold. Strong right arm, toes up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nicely done. Come on down. We're going to go to a chest press on your wedge. So again, we're just going to change the sequence and the timing of this stuff a little bit, but nothing out of the ordinary for you guys. Sorry, I look at my notes. So chest press we're going to do with one hand. So you want to make sure that that right arm stays down, the right shoulder stays down, away from your ear, and the arm lands here at 90 degrees. But this anchor cannot let go. We'll bring the feet up off the floor and the left leg away with the left hand in space. Take your time and make sure the weight stays turned to the outside of your forearm. Nice. We'll switch it over to the other side. So getting your left shoulder nice and stable with the arm down from the ear so that lat has to be recruited. Keeping the weight to the outside of the forearm so you've got a little tremor through that arm, a little wobble. Last one. And Come on down here. Bridge, quick second. Keep your wedge placement very low. We're going to go to crisscross. So we're going to alternate the directions, but you're going to maintain your shoulder stability, okay? So do not pull these elbows forward. Keep pulling the elbows back the whole time, and take your time with your turn. Don't worry about the range of motion at all. Just concentrate on moving through your torso with those shoulders pinned back behind you. Completely different animal from when the elbows move. A couple more each way. And come on down the bridge. Grab your weight again, and we're going to go to pull over. So we'll extend one leg at a time as you reach the bell back behind you with the shoulders down from your ears the whole time, pulling from underneath your shoulder blades. Big breath, keep the airway open and try to aim low below the belly button for your tension, your load. Keep that back nice and quiet. If you feel it, don't reach as far with the foot. Or move your placement down. Always keep that airway open. Exhale with your exertion. Last two here. And come on down. Take a quick bridge. We're going to come back to a cross leg lift, cross leg raise, where we move through the hip. Hands behind your head though, keeping the shoulders nice and stable. Cross the left foot over the right knee. And then the straighter the leg, the harder the work. Just keep the elbows pulling back toward the floor so your upper body, shoulders stay nice and stable. Cross it over. Same thing on the other side. If you feel your back, you can always bend the knee a little or move the placement toward your feet a little. Keep pulling from low, below the belly button. Now hold here, now lift. Keep the elbows pulling back the whole time so there's no movement of the arms coming forward at all. And come on down to bridge. We're going to come up here, the placement up a little bit higher. You're going to take your weight here. We're going to go through a few passes with reverse Russian twist, then we're going to pause and we're going to hit oblique angles with these knee raise here. So reverse Russian twist with your arms very stiff and very stable. Concentrate on keeping those arms and shoulders locked and let the knees move as a consequence. Shift the knees all the way to the right, hold down and up, back a little with the weight, down and up with the feet. Switch it over to the other side, down and up with the feet. Back to center, down and up a couple of times here. Hold, up with the weight. 4, 2, and bridge. Come on down to bridge. And bridge yourself up. Let's move that wedge out from underneath your back. Get your bridge nice and high here. Bring those feet in. Nice and close. Your shoulders are down, away from your ears. Your elbows are extended, nice and straight here. We'll do the single leg bridge here. So squeeze the glute to drive the hip up. And then we're going to switch to the other side. Use your arms. If you feel any fatigue in your back, quit. Dump it. Rest for a couple of seconds. And then get back into it. Use your shoulders. Keep yourself back nice and quiet. And then up and hold. 2 feet together now. We'll march first. So 1 foot up. Then the other, staying strong in your shoulders, keeping your bridge nice and high. A few more passes here. Keep those arms nice and strong. Keep the hips nice and stable. Last 2. Get those feet right together, pushing into your feet at a 45-degree angle. Squeeze these glutes. Excuse me, nice and hard. Pushing into the feet at a 45-degree angle, and use the back of your arms to push up on that bridge. A few more here. Now, squeeze these glutes hard, up and hold. Squeeze these knees toward each other. Push into your feet at a 45-degree angle. Extend that left leg. If you can, hold that right glute nice and strong. Now switch it over. Extend that right leg. Keep pushing 45-degree angles of that foot. Once more on the right. Push 45-degree into that foot. Once more back to the left. Now both feet, squeeze those knees nice and close. 45-degree angles. Stretch your mat right out here. And we're going to come on down. And let's spin you over. And we're going to go to a crescent lunge. So you're going to get your right foot forward, the left glute on, and trying to kick from this strong hip as you reach these arms back with the elbows locked right out. So don't worry about the distance of anything. Just get the arms straight. And then draw them back as you fire through that left hip. Reaching back, lifting up through the sternum, taking a big breath in here. Big exhale. We'll come to reverse triangle. So hook the outside of that left elbow to the outside of that knee. Get those palms together, fingers if you can. And use the leverage of the left elbow on the outside of that right knee and turn through that body. Take a nice big breath in here. And then we'll come down to half kneeling triangle. So again, if you need your hand on something here, that's fine. Just get the knee anchored on the inside of the shoulder and the inside of the knee, and then bring that left arm up. And then taking a nice breath in here. And we'll go to the other side. So left foot forward for crescent lunge. The right glute is on. Get those fingers interlocked. Extend through the elbows. Try to kick from this right hip and draw those straight arms back, making sure there's no compression in the spine, lifting through the chest, lifting through the sternum. Pull those arms back and down. Take a breath here. And we'll come on down to reverse triangle, so hooking that right elbow to the outside of that left knee. Use that leverage to turn through the waist. That right glute on nice and strong. Take a breath. Push just a little harder. And down a half kneeling triangle. Getting that foot, shoulder anchored. This arm up. Pulling this arm back. Trying to open through the chest, through the waist. Inside of that right or left hip. Take a nice big breath in here. And we'll come on down. We're going to do half frog. So getting yourself in this half kneeling position again, nice and wide if you need to be. You're going to swing this right foot out, pulling back on the toes, and turn the heel down. I like to let my body turn a little and then bring myself back. So when I start to square back, pushing down on this heel gets this glute to fire. Use your support. Give yourself as much support as you need. You're trying to get this on and this down. And then turning this wrist, the shoulder down away from your ear. Get that right elbow to extend. Just make sure that elbow is reaching right out straight and push down heavy on the inside of that right heel. As you reach as high as you can through that straight right arm, all the way up to the ceiling. Keep pushing down on the heel. Keep squeezing that glute. Take a nice breath in. Big exhale. We'll switch it over to the other side. So a half kneeling setup. Nice and wide so you get good balance. And then swirly swinging that foot out, pulling the toes back. Turn that heel down again. I can turn almost 45 degrees. But when I spin back is when you get to fire here. Get that left glute nice and strong. Push down hard on this heel. Left hand, shoulder down away from the ear. Get the elbow to extend. That elbow as straight as you can. And reach it up to the ceiling through the wrist. Reaching, reaching, reaching through that straight arm as you squeeze that left glute. Pushing that left heel down toward the floor as hard as you can. My knee just let go. Felt great. Take a big breath. Big exhale. Big reach through this arm. And we'll come on down to half split. So getting that right leg out very, very wide. Just make sure the toes are pointed forward. You don't want the toe to flare out at all. You got to have that pointing straight in, and that should automatically cue your short foot. You feel the arch. So pushing into this arch of the foot and the inside edge of this foot, trying to stretch your mat. You're going to set the hips back, always trying to tilt the tailbone back and up as you push down hard into this foot. And I used to get a little burn here, but now I can get it to go away as I lock my foot, the pelvic floor, and then sitting back in the hips. I can keep that knee nice and quiet, lots of pressure through the groin, high hamstring. Always trying to tilt that tailbone back. And then go ahead and tilt the foot up. So let the foot come right up, spin those toes, and pull those toes back. Nice and strong. And push that heel down into the mat. And trying to set your hips back as best you can. The angle's a little different. Always trying to tilt through the pelvis as you pull back on those toes and press down into that heel. Taking a nice big breath in here. Big exhale. Really reach through that foot. We'll go to the other side. So way over to the right side of your mat. Big, big stretch. So as far out there as you can get with that leg. Just make sure the toes are straight ahead. You know, as you get out there nice and far, you'll automatically feel that arch start to get nice and strong. Trying to get this leg locked out. Making sure you're pushing down into this mat. Trying to stretch this thing away. Trying to lengthen the mat away from you with a strong, tight foot. Pushing back into those hips. See if you can hit that high, very tight, very nasty groin. Keep that foot nice and strong. You're always trying to stretch that mat out. And go ahead and tilt that foot up. Pull back on the toes. And here you want to really try to lengthen through the heel. I even like to pull back with my hips a little bit and create more drag. So if I try to drive my hips back as I pull back on my toes and drive that heel down into the mat, Lots of pressure in here. Again, always avoiding anything uncomfortable around the knee. Taking a big breath in here. Big exhale. And let's get you on your back. We'll do half a happy baby. So grabbing the top of that right foot, the outside of that right foot, get that foot way up in here. However you have to get that foot as high as possible. Go ahead and get it up, and then get that knee way, way up, as close as you can. Extend this left leg out. Make the left leg work, but again, you need to use a balance, something to anchor yourself on. You're trying to flop this leg out and wide. There's a Carleton County colloquialism for this position. I won't use it. Push through the heels. And push through the heel and try to pull back on the toes and continuing to try to get that leg to fillet out to the side. Take a big breath in here. Pull back on your toes. Push hard through your heels. Stretch that thigh out as much as you can here. 3, 2, 1. Go to the other side. So grabbing that, getting a good grip on that foot. With your other leg extended, you get this knee nice and high. So however you have to get this leg up here, by all means do it. And then you're going to let that thing flop out to the side. Pulling back on your toes. You try to drive through the heel. As you pull back on the toes, trying to push that leg out wider. You're not going to hang on to the mat. Give me a little bit of something extra here. Reaching, reaching, reaching through this foot. Take a big breath in here. Big exhale. Push through that heel. Pull back on those toes. And we'll come to the length of your mat for frog. So get nice and wide with the knees. And then get nice and wide with those feet. Pull back on those toes. Get yourself forward so there's very little, if not no pressure in the groin. And then tilt that tailbone up and back. And then push back as deep as you can into frog. As you push into those knees, keep pulling back on the toes. And then ease your way out of it. See if you can wiggle a little wider. Pull back on the toes, nice and strong. I got my foot anchored on the wall here. This is great. So my right foot against my baseboard helps keep my toes back, and then pushing back, trying to tilt that tailbone back and up, drives my knees down to the mat, heavy pressure in the groin, and then ease out of that. Go into it one more time, so a little wider still, tilting that tailbone, and then pushing back, always trying to drive that tailbone up and back to force that pelvis to turn. Breath in here. And then bring those knees in a little closer, more like child's pose. We'll extend here through extended puppy. So get those arms out nice and straight. Get the elbows locked right out. Straighten the arms and try to turn the elbows up to the ceiling and drive that chest hard down toward the mat. As you reach through those fingers, reach through the elbows, trying to turn the elbows to the ceiling. Taking a breath here. And then we'll come to your hands and knees. We'll just go through our spine mobility. So from your hands and knees, you're going to go to a cat camel. So you're going to arch your back down. You're going to round up. You're going to immediately move out of that. Push it back down. Round it back up. Immediately come right back out of that. Down once again. And then back up. Come back to neutral for a second. Keep your hands nice and spread. Your elbows locked out. Round your back up. Sit back to your hips. And then go ahead and come on forward. So round your back up. Sit back. Feel that drag through the low back. And then back up here. Again, rounding up and then pushing back. We're trying to get this fascia in your lower back to thin. So if we can start to get a little drag into it, just a slight amount, then we can get it to thin a little bit. And then we'll come back here to neutral. Now you're going to keep the spine nice and stable, and you're going to push back into the hips, and you're trying to prevent any movement of the spine or any rounding of the pelvis. So you should stop right before you start to turn. You should feel a little grab in the front of those hips. And then back to center. One more time, just reach that right leg out, stretch it back as far as it'll go. Left one back as far as it'll go. And then we'll sit to child's pose. We'll take a couple of breaths here. So breathing into the diaphragm is a big deal. Making the belly expand with the inhale. Take a couple more 6-second breaths here. And we'll call that business for today. Thanks, you guys.